All right, I think I'm going to have to record this entire episode with my hands like this because I noticed that I hit my hand on the desk a lot when I'm talking and it was driving me crazy, so I have to assume it drove most of you crazy as well. If you somehow missed it, it was basically that. And I apologize. I had no idea. I'm very animated when I talk, if you didn't know. And when I'm talking, I rest my hand on the desk and the microphone picks it up. I don't know what to do about that. I just don't know what to do about that. I guess I could put a towel or a blanket over the desk, but I don't know. I think this will still pick it up. And I think that it also, when I kick my foot, it hits the leg of the desk. I'm assuming that picked it up. But anyway, I'm going to try. I don't know what to do. Welcome to the Cahn Solo podcast. We're going to be talking about panic attacks today.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. We love you so. Your human buddy Sam and his teddy friend. This is hello. The song's almost over. It's about to end. Let's start the show.
Cahn Solo podcast. It's a Cahn Solo podcast. I think that's how the song ends. I forgot. I had a panic attack on Wednesday night out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. I took a shower and there was nothing triggered it. I just had it. And I've had panic attacks most of my life now, I would say. I think that they started around the time I was like 13, and I haven't had one in a long time, and I got hit with it pretty bad. I was taking a shower, washing what's left of my hair, and it hit me like boom, just really hard. 0 to 100. There was no build up. I wasn't like, ooh, cool, getting a good feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack pretty soon. It was just like, hey man, you need to get out of the shower. You're about to die right now. Get out of the shower. You're going to die. Get out. Dry off. Lay in bed. Take a nap. That'll fix it. You're gonna die. You're about to die. That's how they happen. That's what they are. That sense of doom. And I think that it started for me was around the time that I had my Bar Mitzvah, and I was so stressed out about that because if you don't know what a Bar Mitzvah is, it's the Jewish I was going to call it a holiday. I'm a really bad Jew, by the way. Like, I'm fucking awful. Like, I'm really bad. And basically what it is it's when you're a boy or a girl, it's you becoming a man or a woman. You lead the congregation with a special ceremony with prayer, and you basically you kind of take over the role of the rabbi. So they don't have to like do much. They're just kind of like, hey, let the kid go up there and do the show. And it's your class that does it once a week, every Saturday. And you get up there and you become a man or a woman. And you have to sing and you have to memorize prayers and you have to read out of the Torah and you have to I didn't really learn Hebrew. I just kind of memorized like the prayer, and you pretend that you're reading it. Again, I'm a bad Jew, so I apologize if you're Jewish and you actually read the Torah. Good job. But I just was like, I'm gonna memorize this as if it were a song or a dialogue in a movie, and that's what I did. Anyway, I I got really nervous, and I was getting anxiety like for the first time. I'm like 13 years old. I just turned 13, and I never had this feeling before. And I remember I was forgetting how to open my locker, like my combination for my locker at school, and forgetting just little things. And I would go to PE and I would forget to like get dressed like to go to class, and just all these little things. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I ended up seeing a psychologist, and I think I mentioned her in the last video at the end. My psychologist, Jana. I went to see her, and we figured out like I'm a little nervous kid, and I'm having these panic attacks, and they would get really bad because I would get like worked up. And you know, if you're not able to open your locker at school, it's like, yo, you're gonna be late, you're gonna get a tardy slip, you're gonna do, and it's like, oh shit, and then you freak out even more. And it was a lot of stress for me. And so I saw my psychologist for, geez, man, I saw from the time I was 13 up until like 25, 26. So that was a long time. And now I'm cured. There's nothing wrong with me at all. I'm fine. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Anyway, Wednesday night I had my first panic attack of a couple of years, I would say. And I've had enough to know how to deal with it, and the way that I deal with it is writing it out. It's all you can really do. So if you need some advice, write that shit out. There's no, like, I don't know, like, there's so many techniques. I've seen people, professionals, say you should suck on a lemon or do this or do that, but they pass. And even though it seems like they're not, and you are going to die, you're not, and you don't. I don't know if anyone's ever died from a panic attack. Well, maybe they have, but I got a message on Saturday from somebody. I'm not going to say their name, but it was really sweet. And it was about how my videos, the podcast, helps with their anxiety. And I responded in like a kind of a funny way, but I probably look like a dick because I was like, wait, what? Me helping you with anxiety? This? But I was trying to be funny, but I don't like know this person, so I don't know if they took it that way, but they were like, yeah, I like it. I like hearing you talk. So that meant a lot. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this episode, is because I want people to feel like me. Where not, I want people to feel I don't want to say comfortable. Yeah, comfortable. I want people to feel I'm fucking this up really bad. I want people to feel normal and not alone. Good job, Sam. That's what I meant. I want people to, because here's the thing. When you listen to a lot of people talking, I keep fucking touching the desk. When you hear people talking, like your favorite creators or whatever, a lot of the time you go to them because they're talking about stuff you like. Haha, we're going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about this or that. But what you don't know, or you probably do know, is that behind the scenes, they're probably, a good chunk of them, going through this stuff too. Self-doubt, anxiety, depression, maybe lost a family member recently that you otherwise have no idea about, because they don't usually, I would assume, don't talk about that most of the time. They're talking about things the happy, fun content, that's the point. That's why people like to watch, is because they can forget their own problems or anxieties or sadness or whatever, because they can watch Drew Gooden. You can watch Drew yucking it up about whatever he's talking about. You don't watch him because he's going to be talking about how he's sad. So that's why I wanted to talk about that today a little bit. It's not going to be a sad episode, I hope. I just wanted to say I see you, baby. I see you. You having a little panic attack? Suck it up, okay? Don't worry about it. You're not going to die. You're going to be fine. This is going to be an ASMR episode. Hey, you having a panic attack? Calm down. You bitch. Sorry. So, yeah, I used to have them really bad. And they started, like I said, when I was 13. And they got really bad in college. I took 9 years to complete college. Yeah, I took 9 years, and a lot of it was anxiety, panic attacks. I actually would drop classes if I knew there was an oral presentation at the end of the semester. Dropped them. Didn't go. Quit. I would quit my class like the first day. Swear to God. Terrible, terrible thing. Because my grandma had a college fund for my brothers and I that she basically was paying from birth until we graduated high school. And she was very much about education, getting your degree. And she would always say, oh, it opens up so many doors, which, it's true, but times are different now. And my grandpa was a college professor at Cal State Long Beach. And there's actually a scholarship in his name. And I think it's my grandma's now too. So if you ever need a scholarship, I think it's like maybe $1,000 or something. His name is Norman Cahn, Dr. Norman Cahn. He was a fucking PhD, smarty pants, little smarty pants. And I don't know what it's for, but you can get it. So if you need $1,000, like say, me, I don't know if that'll help. Probably won't actually, because all they need to do is watch one episode of this and see that I'm not I forgot what I was going to say. So I took 9 years to complete college. I would drop out, like I said, first day of class. And the fun that my grandma set up, it was like every birthday, every Christmas, Hanukkah, and like just whenever she would just like drop in like $500 like out of her retirement or her trust or whatever, and it was like, this is for college one day. And I felt awful because I would just be blowing that money. All right, I shouldn't say I was blowing the money, because I wasn't dropping all my classes. It would just be 1, 2 at the most, and I was usually taking like a full load. I was taking like 5 or 6 classes, and it would be like some semesters I would do the whole thing, but then summer semester, whatever, I would be like, all right, 1 out of the 4, I can't do it. I have to drop it. But it would get really intense for me. And there was one class, there was an anthropology class. We had this big group project that we did. It was like the last 3 weeks of school. And our professor was like, all right, we're going to have, get into groups or whatever, and you're going to do an oral presentation. And she said this like towards the end, so we didn't even know this was going to be a thing from the beginning. And I still remember I did all the work, and I was like, you got this. Like, you can do, it's a group project. You're going to be fine. Like, you can let the other three talk a lot. You do most of the work, which is what I would usually do. I would be like, all right, guys, I'm going to do the poster board. I'm going to do the Google Doc. I'm going to do everything. I'll research everything. You guys can just read everything, and I'll chime in, if you forget anything. And I would have no problem with that. One, because it's better for me to do that because I fucking hate group projects. So this was the way that I would be less stressed because I know it will be done. I will get it done. And then also, now the talking part is kind of cut down a bit. So I would do that. But for this one, I freaked out, and I ended up telling my group and the professor that my grandpa died in a car accident. He didn't. He was okay. And I sent an email to them, and I was like, I gotta go to Arizona right away for my grandpa's funeral. He died. So I lied about that. It was a shitty situation because I felt really bad for ditching my group, even though I gave them, all the stuff they needed. They were set. Like, I really carried the team. They were going to be fine. So, I think I ended up making up the final, like, a couple weeks later after I got back from Arizona. And I'm pretty sure that I passed the class, so it all worked out. But that's what would happen. I just couldn't do it. And in high school, oh my God, in high school, I had one of the worst ones. I'm picking my finger right now just talking about these things because they were really bad for me. And I think it was my junior year, sophomore year, we were having in my English class, we had to write like poems or something, and we were in our groups. We had like a group of 4, and we were sharing our poems with each other, and I guess mine was the best, or it wasn't the best, but my group just decided they wanted me to read mine because we had to choose like the best one and read it out loud to the class. And I don't know what happened. And this was in high school, and I wasn't really having them as bad as I was in middle school, but for some reason I remember being like, oh yeah, okay, I'll read it, it's fine. But as the other groups were reading theirs out loud, and then it was starting to get to me, I like got this feeling like, oh, you're gonna die right now. You're about to die. You're gonna have a little heart attack. Your little 15-year-old body is just gonna give out. You're gonna die right now. And I remember my teacher got to me. Great, now my finger's bleeding. My teacher got to me, and I remember being like, oh, I can't read it. And she's like, oh, why not? And I was like, oh, I can't read it. It's really bad. And she was like, well, I'm sure it's not that bad. I was like, no, it's really bad. I can't read it. I cannot read it. It's a bad poem. I hate it. It's really bad. And she was like, well, come on, Sam, you can read it. And I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to read it. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And I don't know if my classmates thought that I wrote something like actually bad, like, I don't know, like racist or something. But they all were like looking at me like, what is so bad? Like, it can't be that fucking bad, dude. Just read it. But I kept saying that, and I was like, oh, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And then I like collapsed. Like, I put my head down, in my arms and just checked out. I was all done. No more talking. And I don't remember what happened. Like she just went on to like the next group. And after like 5 minutes, I don't know if my classmates thought I was like crying or what, but I wasn't. I just needed to check out. And I remember one of my classmates was like, hey, what you doing, Sam? What you doing in there? And I was like, oh, it was really bad. Oh, whoa. And I just like had my head down for like the rest of the class. And I'm pretty sure it was at the end of class anyways, so that was good because we were working on the poems during class. But I lied and I said that I smoked weed and I was high, and that's what happened. But no, I had a panic attack. And I guess that was a good cover because when you're a kid, like that looks cool, I guess, because it was like, what, you got high, man? What, before class? And I was like, yeah, I got high. I got so high I couldn't even see the words, man. I couldn't even see the words. They were like little ants on the page just moving around. Fucking high, man. Got so high. Wow. So yeah, that's what happened. And again, it kept happening, and when I got to college, it just got worse, and that's why it took me longer than it should have. And with me being so indecisive about what I wanted to do with my life, and the panic attacks where I would be like, all right, I'm gonna become a teacher. I'm gonna take these classes, and then it was like, all right, Sam, you got your 5 classes. Oops, yeah, that one you're gonna have a oral report. You got to drop it, dude. You can't do it. You got to quit that class and take these 4, and then you'll make up that one later on somehow. And we're back. Had to put a little Band-Aid on because my finger was really bleeding, and it's all over my white shirt now. So yeah, panic attacks, huh? I love that I'm like all fidgety and stuff talking about it, but I'm really good lately. I don't get them. Like if you told me I had to do like a speech somewhere, I would be okay if I was prepared. But when I'm making videos and stuff, I'm fine. Like I'm not getting nervous or anything talking into the camera. But crowds and stuff, I'm not comfortable there. I don't really go out. I haven't been out like sitting down in a restaurant in years. Like after COVID, I just was like, I just don't care for the general population much anymore. So that's just a personal decision, and call me a hermit or a what's that word? Curmudgeon, old grumpy man, whatever you may refer to me as, but I don't know. I get the gist of people, and I'm like, whatever, I'm fine. I got Stu. Right, Stu? Right. So I just wanted to talk about that because I like when people reach out and comment like, hey, I watched this and I feel this way, and I'm glad that you said this, and I feel less alone, and here's a tip for you. The one episode a couple weeks ago about Pride Month, someone commented that they got the message and they took what I said to heart, and that was worth it. So if the person that messaged me the other day and said that God, man, I'm picking at the other hand now, and I might need another Band-Aid. I'm not nervous right now, by the way. This is just like how I am all the time. I guess I'm nervous. I'm always picking at my fingers and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know if you. I'll zoom in on it if you want to see. I don't know why you would want to see, but I've been doing it so long. It's not even a thought for me now. So, again, if you have a better coping mechanism than picking at my fingers and doing whatever, I'd appreciate it. My psychologist, I think it's called grounding. I think that's what it's called. It's a technique where you find something that grounds you during your panic attack, and it kind of brings you back to reality, like what is happening. You kind of accept that you're having a panic attack, and you're like, okay, that is what's happening right now, and I am touching grass, and I know I'm doing that, and that's a fact, and my heart is beating. It's beating fast, but it is beating, and I'm touching grass still. And what I would do is, she had me keep a couple of things in my pocket, a marble, a little piece of like felt, like Velcro-y type thing, and then I think there was something that was like a Lego piece or something that had like kind of bumps in it, and I would walk around with these stupid little objects in my pocket, and if I had a panic attack, I would reach in my pocket and I would just feel them through my shorts, and probably looked a little weird now that I think about it, but it would help me, and I would just put my hands in my shorts and be like, okay, that's the marble. It is smooth. It is round. And I would do that with all the objects until I calmed down. And I don't know if, I mean, it did help, but I don't know if it helped because of what it was doing, or if it was like a placebo thing where it was like, all right, focus on this. But that's the whole point, right? Is to get you out of the panic attack. So I guess it did work. But I don't do that anymore. I feel like I don't need to, and I don't have them as you would think that I would have them more because I'm an adult and I should be stressed out more than when I was a kid and didn't have to do things like, pay rent and food and do all the things that my mom and dad aren't going to do for me ever again. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and make you, if anything, I hope that this made you feel more normal and less alone. And if you listen to this and you're like, God damn, dude, you're fucking, wow, you were dropping classes, then good. I hope that makes you feel better. Me suffering helps you out. No, but I like interacting. Yep, there goes the blood. I like interacting with you guys, and I like getting feedback, and just if I can help improve your life a little bit, and you can help improve mine, then hey, look at us, we're doing good things as human beings. Isn't that the goal for all of this? I think so. Anyway, I don't know how long this episode is. It looks like we're at 42 minutes now. So after I shave down all the uhs and ums and what have you, maybe it'll be like 25, 30 minutes, I hope. So I always say that, today's going to be a short one, and then it never is. So fuck me, right? Thank you to thank you to the Patreons. God damn it. Patrons. Thank you to the patrons for the support. I'm going to alter the membership, the tier things, so it's a little more like fun and cool, I guess. We don't have a lot of stuff. So I want to do something that makes it worth subscribing or Patreoning, whatever you call it. My mind is just not working today. So thank you for the support. It means a lot. It really does. For anyone to be giving money is just what? Wild. Thank you. It's going to go to, I got to be careful with the mic. It's going to go to a mic. So right here, if you're listening, by the way, I apologize if you're just hearing a bunch of shit right now, but this thing, yeah, you can see it. I'll zoom in on it. This black thing right here is just super loose. It's like a loose tooth, and the little knob to tighten it, it doesn't do anything anymore. And there's another knob at the top that I think it tightens this gray thing. Anyway, I don't know what happened. This black thing is really, really loose, so the microphone just kind of wiggles around, and I just keep on touching it like a fucking idiot. So I want to get a new mic, and this screen thing is really poorly designed because it doesn't stay up. I have to keep adjusting it, and I can't move. I can't like move the arm of it because there's a lot of noise. And I think even just wearing this fucking jacket, I'm sure it's like making all this sound. So it's good that the microphone is picking up everything, but I'm sure there's better ones out there that will improve this thriving podcast. So once again, thank you to the patrons. And I think next week is the 30th episode or 29th. If it's the 30th, I won't be here. It's just going to be Stu by himself because I decided every 10th episode I'm going to not be here because my grandpa died and I have to go to his funeral. If you're listening right now, I winked into the camera in case you couldn't tell I was being a silly goof. The reason for this episode was initially to help out with these kinds of things, but I don't think there's nothing that can really help. And I hate to sound like deal with it, but you just got to kind of deal with it. And I hope that whatever anxieties or depressions or panic attacks that you're having, I just hope that they don't last too long and they're not too bad to where you feel like you need to drop a college course because of it. But we're all going through things, and I don't mean to trivialize it by saying that, like, yeah, we're all going through our shit, but we are. And sometimes hearing other people going through that helps. So if it helped out to hear me suffer, then again, you're welcome. And I just wanted to talk about that because it's a real thing, and sometimes it happens. Just like it did on Wednesday night, out of the blue, I was fine. And then, boom, what the fuck happened? I don't know. No trigger, like I said. Just, boom, having a panic attack, and you're gonna die tonight. This is the night. So, fingers crossed it doesn't happen again. But if it does, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. Right, Stu? Do you ever have panic attacks? Oh, that's right. You're perfect. I forgot about that. So, yeah, that'll do it for us. I think that I can't remember if next week is 30 or not. I think it might be 29. So we'll probably see you next week. But if we do not, we will see you back on the 31st episode. Unless I have another panic attack and I die, and I actually die, then we won't. Then we're done. Yeah, so that'll do it for us. Stuart, did you have anything that you would like to add? Is that why you were so quiet this episode? You were thinking about ice cream the whole time? Stuart. Yeah, we can get some. It has been pretty hot lately, so yeah. You're driving, though. All right. Hey, if you have a small task that you know will take like 5 or 10 minutes tops, get that shit done this weekend. Get it out of the way. If it's doing the dishes or doing whatever, laundry, just you need to change a light bulb somewhere, do it. Get it out of the way. You're all done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. If one of those tasks is going to the store and getting some groceries or whatever, you go to the store and you use a shopping cart. You put the objects in your trunk. And what do you do when you're all done? Where does the shopping cart go? That's right. It goes in the cart return where it belongs. So make sure that you do that. And then we will see you next week.